Well, I still can't connect to the Thieves Guild because I'm still playing disconnected from online. Because of the whole weird situation with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, where it's like, oh, it seems like the freaking Elite Four battle theme is behind the Day 1 patch, according to some people on the interwebs. I wanted to find out if that was true for myself. Apparently, the 1.1 patch is coming out for Scarlet and Violet here soon. I think it was announced like this morning. It's the 1st of December right now for anyone watching this on YouTube after the fact. And apparently that's gonna fix a error where the Elite Four battle theme doesn't work sometimes. So maybe it had nothing to do with the Day 1 patch, and it's just some people it just doesn't work for some reason. But yeah, remember watching your Let's Play of Lunatic Plus on Fire Emblem Awakening. I want to know if you saw this fan-made model called Project Famous. I don't think I've heard of it. And played it's a whole lot of fun. 2 new characters now available in the normal game and a lot more. I don't think I've heard about that, actually. Also, I appreciate you tuning into that freaking massive pain series. That series of massive pain and suffering. My goodness gracious, was that ever a trip right there. I don't think I've heard of that. The only Fire Emblem mod projects that I've heard about before are Project Ember, I believe it's called, for Fire Emblem 6. Because I remember, this was before I even became a content creator. I remember I was looking into the best ways to play Fire Emblem 6. So I played Fire Emblem 7 as my first Fire Emblem game. And I was like, wow, that was great. I like Fire Emblem now. And then I became a Fire Emblem fan after Blazing Sword was the case. Not right when Blazing Sword came out. I played it like way later. I played it on an emulator on my phone in late junior high, early high school was the case. So I didn't play it like right at release. But anyway, I remember looking into Fire Emblem mods and stuff like that and best ways to play Fire Emblem 6. And I was thinking about trying Project Ember for a while, but I never wound up getting to it. I never even beat Secret Stones because I kept on getting, like, save data issues, was the case, so. There was that. When we eventually cover Fire Emblem 6 and 7 on this channel, I don't know if I'm gonna do regular Vanilla 6 or Project Ember. Like, I'm undecided, but it's gonna be a while before we get to that point anyway, because we have so much other Fire Emblem stuff to do before that point, you know. But yeah, what happened on Pokemon this morning? Yeah, there's a lot that went on with Pokemon stuff this morning. I've been going pretty ham on Persona 5 kind of stuff, so, you know, despite this being the 1st of December right now, it just ended, like, my second last week of university this semester in terms of lectures, so I have 1 more week of lectures and then final exams. Anybody watching this on YouTube after the fact would be watching it, like, December 27th or 28th, something like that, at the earliest. Because I've been going pretty ham, so I'm almost, like, a month ahead of this thingamabob now. So anybody watching this on YouTube after the fact, it's gonna be a little bit delayed news. But it seems this morning Nintendo put out an official apology for the state Pokemon Scarlet and Violet shipped in. And it's like, huh, has Nintendo ever issued an apology for a game being sent out in a broken state? Is the case. Yeah, beat Lunatic Plus on your 3DS like 5 years ago. So that means without even a save states. I mean, the only time I ever even used save states in the one on the channel was, you know, Apotheosis right then because of something really dumb. But you know the pain then. Also, Shiny Samurai, raid with a party of 2. I appreciate the raid there. What were you just streaming Samurai? I saw that you were live as I was coming home from university. I got home late today. But I don't know what you were just streaming there. I appreciate the follow there, Fox Beast. Is the case. I'm sorry, I'm like overwhelmed right now is the case. Hello! What were you streaming? What was on the agenda? Heard FP6 is kind of bad. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Never played it myself, but I've heard that it's pretty janky. And yeah, if you want to post some stuff in the Fire Emblem channel in the Discord server, you can absolutely go ahead and do that if you'd like. I can go ahead and boop it bop, and then that's a Discord server. But yeah, Sonic Unleashed mobile? What? That wasn't what was being streamed, was it? You what now? There's a mobile port of Sonic Unleashed? I was literally just talking the last stream of this just a couple days ago about how I think I was talking about it during Persona. I might be getting mixed up, but I was just talking recently about how I never got into Sonic because the first Sonic game I ever played was Unleashed, and I was like, oh, this is weird, and then I never play a Sonic game ever again. I have it on the Wii, is the case, and I was like, I don't know about that, you know? What do you mean there's a mobile port of it? Is it, wait, is this a thing that you can just find on the App Store? Is this a thingamabob? Hold on. The mobile port of Sonic Unleashed. If I search up Sonic on the App Store, no, I haven't opened this in forever, so it's giving me all these thingamabobs. Sonic Dash, Sonic Forces, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Tone Generator, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Dash 2, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic CD Classic, Go Sonic Go. I don't see it here. Is it just like a different manner is the case? It's for old Nokia phones. What? You what now? What? What is this? You know, I don't think you'd have much reason to lie, but I find it hard to believe. Sonic Unleashed. I don't believe this. Sonic Unleashed Nokia. I've never heard of such a thing. Sonic Unleashed Mobile Nokia N58. What? Huh? Free download Sonic Unleashed for Nokia 7230. Okay. Sonic Unleashed Mobile. It's a version of Sonic Unleashed for use on mobile phones. It contains 11 levels and retains Sonic's ability to transform into a werehog. All the graphics come in sprite form, polygons are not used. Unlike its console brethren, Sonic has the ability to go underwater without dying. It was only released in Europe, Middle East, Australia, Brazil, and New Zealand. US and Canada did not see a release. An unofficial Android port exists, but it was not developed by Gameloft. What the heck? Even? Well, okay. Well, okay, that's, it's real and jank. Well, I started having visions about things. Oh, I can give it plant nutrients. Basic care, good care. Let's do that, I guess. Wow, okay. Well, my day just changed drastically. Okay, cool. It's quite the experience. I believe it. What the heck was I just talking about? Gosh dang it. I've lost track of things. Didn't Mishima want to hang out? Yeah, I think he did. Gosh dang it. I was talking about Nintendo's apology on Scarlet and Violet. Before we do Mishima's hangout thing, I had some time before university lectures today. So, one, I got the discussion from the last stream at the Ready. Yeah, it was just yesterday that we were streaming this. I'm not getting my days all mixed up and stuff. We did the discussion about the new Mario Movie 2 trailer, Mario Movie Trailer 2, sorry. My goodness, I'm losing my mind. We talked a little bit about Fire Emblem Engage coming up. We talked a bit about Nintendo Switch Sports, a little bit about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We had like another podcasty kind of discussion last night, but I just had to conk out immediately after the stream last night. So I got the upload at the Ready this morning, and I even made a thumbnail and stuff for it, and I had it all queued up to go up today. And then, like, it got demonetized because of the Mario Movie trailer. I was like, okay, well, whatever. But then, apparently, because we showed that little clip of the Dutch TV spot, the video got blocked worldwide. Because it was like, oh, you've been copyright claimed for the Dutch TV spot. Yep, this video's banned in all countries now. And I was like, oh, well, I guess we're just gonna have to edit it a little bit, like, take that out. And then re-upload it. I don't want to do it tomorrow because I don't want it to conflict with another big upload that I'm doing tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm uploading a freaking new episode of Peculiar Potions for the first time in over a month. So, you know, there's that. Send a link to that. Okie doke. I'll have a look-see when I get the chance there later. But yeah, Pokemon, you tuned into Eagle's stream earlier and saw the stop-motion Sunflowers. Oh boy. I wanted to stop into Eagle's stream. He was doing a charity stream, but I was at university all day. Like, I left here a little bit before 7 a.m. and I got back a little bit after 7 p.m. Like, I've been gone all day. And his stream, you know, started and ended in that time. I would have dropped a donation on his charity stream otherwise. In fact, maybe I should still go to his channel and just do it anyway. is the case. Why isn't he pulling 24-hour charity streams like me, huh? Then he wouldn't have to worry about me not being able to make it to the stream. Anyway, before I do this thingamabob here, I just wanted to bring up, I had some time before my university classes today, because I hitch a ride to university, and then I have like an hour and a half before my first class starts. So I worked on that, and then I was curious when it came to Pokemon. Has Nintendo ever issued an apology over the state of a game before? So I looked up on my phone, and I compiled a notepad of every public Nintendo apology I could find. And when I think of Nintendo, I don't think of a lot of apologies. You know, I don't think about the company apologizing a lot. Turns out, it's a lot more apologies than I would have actually thought. There was a decent bit more apologies than I thought there was. Some of which I've heard of, some of which I've never heard of. It's not really gonna, come in all that clearly. And I organized them by date, but not a single one of these apologies that dates all the way back to 2008 is because of the quality of a game. Sometimes there is, like, an apology for, like, some aspects of a game or the glitches. You want to read what they all are? Like, the first one that I had documented here was May 2008, where Nintendo apologized because Wii Fit's body mass index measurement called a 10-year-old fat, and it really hurt the feelings of that 10-year-old. So there was that. And yeah, I was like, wait, that's the thing that happened? I was reading up some articles, and it's like, okay, yeah, BMI maybe isn't, like, the best measurement when, you're not an adult, I guess. Yeah, I guess so, because I figured, it was good information to know that this is a serious deal if it's actually the first time that Nintendo's apologized for, like, the state of a game. At least the notable ones. July 2008, they were like, sorry, we didn't announce a new Mario or Zelda at E3. This was a funny one. In December 2008, turns out so this was an aspect of a game, sort of, but not one that the public got. In December 2008, this is when Animal Crossing Wild World was coming out. And they sent out review copies for, publications to do reviews on and stuff. And, well, there was a special save file, let's just say, for these review copies. So it already had a lot of things unlocked. And, the reviewers could then try out a lot of aspects of the game without, like, spending 3,000 years. Apparently, whoever set up the save file for the reviewers had an N-bomb in it. There's a villager that I think would refer to the player character by the N-bomb they had it set up as. That was what Nintendo sent out as the review copy. So they had to issue a public apology for having a racial slur in the review copy of Animal Crossing Wild World. That is so funny to me. Apparently November 2009, Eiji Aonuma apologized for Ocarina of Time's Water Temple. Yeah, so there's that. That's a thing that happened, look it up. Apparently in March 2011, well, a few months after March 2011, the 3DS released, and it wasn't doing, like, super hot when it first released, so a few months later, they drastically dropped the price. And all the people that bought the 3DS in the first 3 months were like, what the heck? Why did we have to pay so much more? So Nintendo apologized, and I think offered them, like, 20 free digital games to make up for it, from one of the things that I was reading, at least. So it's like, alright, that's a good apology right there. November 2012, they apologized that the Wii was frustrating to set up and had, like, a really lengthy day one update. January 2013, they apologized that there wasn't a lot of games on the Wii U at launch. January 2014, they apologized that during December 2013, the Wii U and 3DS eShop had gone down for several days over the holidays. This was another controversial one. In May 2014, with the release of Tomodachi Life, which, I'm sure we all, like, I'm sure, not a whole lot of people played Tomodachi Life, but a lot of people are at least, sort of familiar with what it is. Like, it had all your Miis on the island and stuff like that, and you would watch their wacky antics. Apparently, there was romance stuff in Tomodachi Life, but only among same-sex characters. And Nintendo people were really mad, like, what the heck, why aren't there gay relationships in this? And Nintendo initially defended it, being like, oh, we didn't include that because we don't want to make a social commentary, without realizing that by excluding it, they were making a social commentary. So they later said, like, we're not going to change it at this point because it would change too much about the game, but we're really sorry about that. We're not trying to be messed up here. Sorry about that. So that was a big thing of drama there. But yeah, I gotta go see. Alright, appreciate you stopping by, Yo Crezo there. But yeah, you've seen a playthrough? I haven't even seen a playthrough myself, but I think we all, like, roughly know-ish what Tomodachi Life is, so there was that. There's also a stigma that the 3DS would make children blind. That was a thing with your parents. Weird. That wasn't a thing that came up when I was searching for Nintendo apologies, though. They, accidentally chose homophobia. So there was that. This one I never heard about, and I'm gonna have to look up more articles to see if this is real. Apparently, in September 2014, so Smash 4 on the Wii U had just recently come out, apparently there was an issue where Nintendo would, the game would ban Peach players from 4 Glory if they pulled a turnip, if they used down B, because there's no items allowed in 4 Glory. So the turnip wasn't allowed. And the natural conclusion by the in-game, like, algorithm looking for cheaters was that the Peach players must have been cheating, and it was banning them from online, or at least from For Glory. So Nintendo had to, like, apologize for all the Peach players that got banned. This was a funny one. April 22nd, 2015. They, I don't know if it's real. I really hope it is, because it sounds super funny. I only saw one article that said it, so I'm gonna have to look up more to see if it's to see if it's real. April 22nd, 2015. I remember this one happening. This was a Wigger Wednesday. So they wanted to say, what do you prefer, Waluigi Wednesday or Wiggler Wednesday? But they forgot the L, and they called it Wigger Wednesday. And they had to issue an apology over that on Twitter. It was so funny. I remember that one happening. That was a good one. May 2015, they apologized for amiibo storages. June 2015, they apologized that their E3 announcements were pretty disappointing. They didn't have many new titles. And the one big new title that people didn't already know about that they announced was Metroid Prime Federation Force. So, they apologized for that. March 2017, they apologized for the shortages of NES Classic consoles. June 2017, they apologized for the lack of Nintendo Switches. October 2019, this is something that I didn't know went on with this game. Tokyo Mirage Sessions, hashtag FE Encore. You know, that weird crossover between, like, Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem that basically nobody played because it was a game that seemed like it appealed to neither fan base, as we discussed once during Mario Plus Rabbids. Anyway, when they released it on the Switch, like the Encore version, apparently, in Japan, it was implied to Japanese fans that the Japanese version was going to be the base of this new release on the Switch, because the website showed images of the Japanese version, but when in reality, the base of the new game was the Western version, which had more content, and also apparently less risque material, according to that article there. So they apologized to Japanese fans, being like, we're sorry that we made you think that the Japanese version was the base, because it's not. It's a cool game. I've heard some cool things about it. I don't know if I'd ever play it myself, though, is the case. Maybe shortages were on purpose and you can't change your mind. I mean, they're not gonna profit from people scalping them or anything like that. I mean, they'd get, you know, more people scrambling over them, and then when they bring more stock later, then it could benefit them, I guess. Let's see here. December 2019, they didn't meet the production demands of Ring Fit Adventure in Japan, so they apologized for that. Also, the same month, they apologized for long lines at the Nintendo store in Tokyo when that opened up, when you had to wait like 3 to 4 hours, apparently, to get into the Nintendo store over there. February 5th, 2020, they apologized for their game delays due to COVID-19, and, you know, that's not their fault. In May 2020, they apologized because there was a typo in an email, and a promotional email, calling the upcoming Mario Strikers Mario Kart Strikers. Also, I think I must have put in the wrong year here, because Mario Strikers only came out, like, earlier this year, right, on the Switch. So that's probably supposed to be May 2021, I would imagine. Maybe I just entered it wrong, I don't know. But apparently a promotional email called it Mario Kart Strikers, my favorite game, so they apologized for that, being like, whoops. June 2020, they finally apologized for Joy-Con drift. Apparently in the same month, they also apologized because a bunch of Nintendo accounts were hacked. Another thing I hadn't heard about, so, like, I'm gonna have to look up more articles and see if that's real. Apparently, November 2020, they apologized that the Game & Watch Super Mario Bros. Edition has a bug where it will display the incorrect lyric language for, like, an Easter egg song in some languages. And, you know, on something like that, you can't patch that. It's just, you know, screwed that way. In June 2020, this was a weird drama thing. June 2021, sorry. I hadn't heard about this. I'm surprised I hadn't heard about this. Apparently, a kid stumbled on a message in Splatoon 2, like a user-created message, saying F Israel. Like, you know, I'm saying F rather than, like, the full thing, but, you know, you know what that says there. Apparently that made it through the filters, I guess, and was being promoted around there. So Nintendo started getting flack for that, being like, oh my goodness, why do you have such a hateful message in this game? And Nintendo being like, we didn't write that. Like, we're sorry that it got through. We'll try to, you know, do our best to make sure that messages like that don't get shared around, but, like, we didn't do that. So that was a thing that happened in Splatoon 2. April 25th, 2022, they apologized that the Mario movie was delayed to 2023 from December this year. June 8th, 2022, they apologized for the abhorrent state of the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Special Edition pre-orders. Like, what a mess that was. And there's so many people that wanted to get it that still haven't been able to get it. In October this year, they apparently apologized for not being able to meet the production demands of Bayonetta on the Switch Physical Edition in Europe. You'd think that would be Bayonetta 3, because I'm pretty sure Bayonetta 3 released in October 2022. No, that's the production demands of Bayonetta 1 Switch Physical Edition, apparently, which had been, like, delayed in Europe and, had not met production demands over there. I didn't even realize that there was a Bayonetta 1 Physical Edition on the Switch. I knew there was Bayonetta 2 on the Switch, and it included, like, a code for you to download Bayonetta 1 as well, but apparently they released Bayonetta 1 as a physical thing as well. And then finally, the most recent apology, the broken state of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So, there have been some apologies over the past more than, like, a decade about, you know, some things in games. Like Eiji Aonuma apologizing for 1998 Ocarina of Time's Water Temple. Or, like, some minor details in games, like that drama with Splatoon 2, the homophobia in Tomodachi Life, I forgot the name of it for a second, that weird bug in Smash 4. So they've apologized over, you know, individual aspects of games before. But in everything that I was browsing around today, this morning, I could not find a single instance where they've apologized for releasing a game in a broken, borderline unplayable state. So this apology over Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is a big deal. It's way more than 3 months underbaked. That's like a year or two underbaked, at least. 3 months is not enough to fix that. Let's go ahead and, yeah, let's do the thing, Rabob, is what we'll do. So, yeah, apologizing over a state of a game being so insanely crummy on a release. It doesn't seem like Nintendo has ever done that, from what I can find, that this is a first. So, it's a big deal. That's what I'm talking about. Come on over to the diner. A game like Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is 3 months underbaked. A game like Scarlet and Violet is a year or two underbaked. Hello, Crystal. How are you doing today? I appreciate the 7-month resub right there. Welcome back to T-Man Harmonic.
Wow.
And wow. Enjoy another month of the emotes and the sub badge. Hope you enjoyed that talk about Nintendo's apologies and stuff. So that was the wacky information adventure that I went on this morning. So that's cool. So that's information that I gathered for the Scarlet and Violet video essay. So how go the activities? Actually, I already know. Fansite has been crazy busy thanks to you guys. Yeah, is that a gun on the table? Wait, are you about to threaten me? This book here is all about the latest security techniques and this a model gun, so that you know, Nintendo can sue you for speaking negatively on there. I was reading hard drive articles earlier today, which is just like a parody site that makes, you know, parodic articles. I saw one earlier today that said Nintendo instinctively sued Universal Pictures for releasing the Mario movie trailer 2. Like, it was just a reflex at that point, because they love suing people so much. It cost me a lot of money. It almost looks real. That's what I would have thought there. Oh yeah, that just goes to show how special it is. I heard they had to completely halt production because people kept mistaking it for a real gun. It was suggested to me by this military buff from the fandom. I figured I could use a bit of security since I'm the sole admin of the whole fan site. So you're just gonna carry around a model gun? I mean, you guys are getting really popular. There's been a lot more info on the forum lately too. Some of the stuff up there is pretty scary, so it seemed like I needed a little protection. Mishima's taking things like such a bad direction, honestly. Yeah, there's that too. Like, there's the whole situation recently where it's just like, oh yeah, let's just do the freaking Nintendo Classic, the cease and desist. Are you really sure that that's necessary? Nintendo is straight up addicted to ceases and desists. Like, they're like a drug addict just looking for their next high. Except it's, instead of shooting drugs, it's issuing ceases and desists. I mean, people might come after me if I found out I was working with the Phantom Thieves, right? It's important to have a way to defend myself in those situations, or at least look like you can defend yourself. You know, Nintendo puts out some good games sometimes. But man, as a company, they're so awful. As I was saying, we've had a pretty massive influx of new posts on the forum lately. One of them seems particularly worthwhile. It's bigger than anything we've done so far. Sometimes they put out good games, yeah. Not always. Sometimes they do. There's a few real gems in there, but there's also a handful of real stinkers. Yeah, pretty much. Read a hard drive article about Nintendo suing Italy. Now that you mention it, I think I might have seen it. That was a while back, right? Like a month or two back, if I recall. If we want to really make the Phantom Thieves famous, we'll need to go after some flashier targets. Leave this to me, though. If I get all the info we need, I'll get all the info we need, even if I have to put myself in danger to do it. My goodness, we've been talking about Nintendo for so much longer than I expected that this entire discussion plus this one hangout in Persona 5 is just going to become like one episode at this point when I cut this up into parts. So I'm going to turn off my camera because one of these is going to have to become the thumbnail because what else is going to be it, you know? Gosh dang it. Here's going to be like a part of Persona 5 over on YouTube that gets one activity done and that's it, and just becomes a conversation on Nintendo. Apart from that, I guess I'll slap this in the podcast playlist then. The podcast playlist, I slap like discussion stuff that we do as like a dedicated stream discussion like we did the other day, just before starting Persona and looking at the trailers and stuff. Or whenever we go on long tangents like this on stream talking about whatever given topics, because, you know, then the entire episode, that entire part is basically just talking about that thing anyway, you know? So, I guess this is just gonna get slapped into the podcast playlist. Why not? Increase the XP earned by backup members. Nice.
Alright.
Sweet. You love to see it. Alright. I got the thumbnail shot just before that, so I don't need to turn my camera off now. By the way, am I look any different to you? You're wearing a white shirt.
Actually...
People keep telling me it seems like I've changed recently. Guess I can't hide my newfound confidence. I don't... It's good to have confidence, but the way that Mishima's handling this whole social media situation is not great. In fact, I don't know if I'd ever do a video essay on Persona or anything like that, but I'd be tempted to do a video essay on freaking Mishima here, just a short one about like his handle on social media. Because as someone that's been streaming for the past over 4 years now, coming up on 5, I guess, I can tell, you know, he's not taken this path all that well. Oh, speaking of not taking the content creation path all that well, I have a story to tell from earlier today. When I was like browsing around looking for Nintendo apologies, I encountered some really massive wackiness over on Twitter, because of course it was on Twitter. But I'll start telling it in what will become the next part, I guess. My Truth and Worth will finally... Well, if it isn't Mishima. But know that I just ran into one heck of a situation. Akiyama-kun. Maybe we'll get like 2 podcast thingamabobs in a row. He honestly is. Long time no see, Zero. You know, we've been sitting just over there the whole time, but we didn't even notice you sitting there. I mean, wait, would I want to use something like this for a thumbnail shot? Because it's not just the typical sitting at the table thing? I don't know. Yeah, exactly the same as you were back in middle school, Mishima. Yeah, once a zero, always a zero. Yeah. This is actually going to transition really well into the situation that I encountered on Twitter earlier. Because Mishima is like the perfect person that would be targeted by the thing that I'm going to delve into in a hot second. He's the kind of person that doesn't have a whole lot of self-confidence and is looking to social media here and gaining social status and getting numbers and stuff like that as a means to, you know, feel better about himself is the impression that I'm getting here. So that's going to transition perfectly into the next thing I want to talk about. Yeah. You haven't changed your cell number, have you? Huh? No, I haven't. Why didn't you come to our hangout? All our ex-classmates were there, you know? Oh wait, nobody even remembered you existed. Can't invite a guy who can't remember, right? Right. Come on, guys, let's go. It's not what it looks like, okay. You know that one guy in every class that ends up being the butt of all the jokes? That guy was me.
Damn it.
But I've changed now. I can help you. We're not going to be that boring guy anymore. Yeah, he's trying to prove himself here.
Sorry.
Sorry about that. Anyway, it's getting late. We should probably head home.
Well, see you later.
This is honestly going to transition perfect into the next thing that I want to talk about. The freaking wacky situation there. Alright, we're gonna get one more call before it's the end of the day, I guess. Stop calling me that! Stop! She was the average Persona fan, to be honest. I think so. I'm surprised Nintendo doesn't sue Twitch for having Nintendo's themed emotes. Wait, are there, like, global Twitch emotes that are Nintendo themed? Or just mean, like, content creators themselves having Nintendo themed emotes, like I do? Like, there's that, for example. The Jigglypuff High thingamabob. Oh, not acoustic there. Oh yeah, that one's a global one, isn't it? It's just straight up LeChonk. You're right. I forgot about that. I remember Mortis brought that up in one of the Scarlet and Violet streams after accidentally stumbling on it just by typing LeChonk. I remember now. I forgot. Just saying I'm gonna work even harder. Not just in managing the fan site, but also help make the Phantom Thieves household names. I'm gonna do everything in my power, so you can just kick back and relax. Something happened? What? No, not really. You just go ahead and focus on changing those bad guys' hearts. Okay, I better go, but we'll talk again soon, okay? We sure will.